Hey guys, got some more tips for you. This is actually the second tips and tricks video. You can find the first one on my channel. It contains 32 tips. In this one I will have 8 tips and tricks for you, and I will also give you some info about gear, property tax and world transfer. So first tip, know the strengths and weaknesses of your enemies. So there are 5 types of enemies in New World: the Ancient, Angry Earth, the Corrupted, the Lost, and then wolves, bears, beasts basically. Don't use fire against the Ancients. They receive 40% less fire damage. Use lightning instead. That's a 30% increase in damage. Against the Corrupted, they receive 40% less damage from ice. Use arcane instead. 30% more damage from arcane. The Angry Earth takes more damage from fire, about 30%, but less from lightning, around 40%. Against the Lost, avoid using void damage. That's a 40% reduction. Use nature instead to get a 30% boost. And when it comes to beasts, they take normal damage from pretty much every type of damage, apart from thrust damage. All the beasts take 20% more damage from thrust. Now, physical damage, we're talking about some small 10%, 15% bonuses. My best advice would be, don't use the same type of physical damage. For example, say you want to do Lazarus. Well, you'll be fighting against Ancients. They take 15% less slash damage, so don't go in with a hatchet and a great axe. Use a warhammer instead. They take 20% more damage from that. You also need to be aware of affixes. Some are pretty self-explanatory, like ignited, frozen, armored. But what is brutal? Well, it means that specific elite will deal 25% more damage. This leads me to my next tip. Have more than one build. It's really easy in New World to change builds, and people are mostly looking for tanks or healers. So if you're getting items with constitution on them, keep those and make a tank. This way you'll have more opportunities. But where are you going to stash all these items? Well, it's best to buy a house and keep most of your stuff there. You get 50% off for your first house, so you might want to take advantage of this and buy the most expensive one, but then you have to pay a fee every 5 days. I personally paid 1.7k in the first week and 2k in the second week. That fee will vary. There are 3 factors that come into play. The percentage set by the governor, 5%, 10% or 20% if he's a greedy bastard. Then if your company governs the settlement, you get a 30% reduction, and finally, you can lower it even further yourself by doing town quests and picking property tax when leveling up your territory standing. You can only have one type of trophy in your house. For example, I bought 2 tier 3 luck trophies, but I could only use one of them. And talking about territory standing and town quests, there is a town quest pattern. Every settlement is gonna ask for rugged leather, strong mana potions or common, fish fillet, flint, fibers, so keep these, don't sell them or drop them if you wanna level up your character and your territory standing faster. Some town quests will change as you level up your trade skills. For example, at first you'll have to gather wood, but when you get your logging skill to 100, you'll have to gather weird wood. Same with star metal or recalcum. And since we're talking about materials, use high tier ingredients when crafting to have a higher chance at getting bonus items. Why should I use tier 5 flux when tier 3 flux works just fine? Well, by using tier 5 flux, you have a higher chance at getting more steel ingots. So there are basically 4 factors that come into play. The base chance for that tier to create extra items, the skill level, your skill level, the refining material used, the difference in tier between the refining material used and the final product. So the 5th tip, you need luck related gear. Don't sell or dismantle the gear, because if you really want to make money, then you need to sell rare stuff. And to get that rare stuff, you need luck as much as possible. At some point in the main story, you'll need a dragon flower to advance. Unless you want to pay around 500 gold for that, you'll have to go and harvest it yourself. You can actually come here, there are a few dragon glory and they respawn in 10 minutes. My recommendation is to keep a set for every gathering skill. It does not matter if the gear drops with intelligence or strength. What matters a bit is the gear score. And where are you going to sell everything you gather? Well, don't just sell in random settlements. First, check if people can actually craft stuff there. Check if the outfitting station, stone cutting table and the arcane repository are high level. Then sell your gems, silver and gold ingots there, cause that's a good place to craft jewelry. But you gotta pay the listing fee. Can you somehow avoid that fee? Yes, link your stuff in chat. That way you could potentially find a buyer sooner and you also avoid the fee. But all this depends server to server. How do you go to another server, by the way? You get 1 free token. I moved to another server and I encountered 0 problems. You will keep your quests, items, gold, house. Your friends list will get deleted though, and before transferring your character, you need to remove any sell orders and buy orders. Pay close attention if you're trying to buy something on the market. Sometimes the final product is cheaper than paying for all the ingredients needed to make that product, and vice versa. Small example in this case, it's cheaper to buy a silver ingot than to buy 4 silver ore to make 1 silver ingot. Watermark. Now there's a thing in New World called Watermark. This corresponds to the highest level of looted gear score. looted. That's the important word. Let's say you killed a mob and you got a nice 500 gear score warhammer. Then you go to the store and buy a better one. This one has 550 gear score. Next time you kill a mob and you get another warhammer, you expect it to have at least 550 gear score, no? Well, it'll probably have 505 or 510. You need to loot the item, be it from a mob or chest, which leads me to my final tip. Be bold. Sneaking up behind elites actually works. That's the good part. The bad part is that you can only loot the elite chest once per day or every 23 hours if you want. And that was my final tip for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.